stress is not the enemy. In fact, the ability to feel stress is part of what keeps us alert, adaptable, and alive. The real problem isn't stress itself, it's staying in a state of heightened arousal long after the challenge has passed. When the body and brain remain locked in that elevated state, performance drops, health suffers, and mental clarity fades. But the nervous system isn't fixed, it's trainable. And that means your ability to lower stress isn't about avoidance, it's about regulation. The fastest way to lower stress is not about thinking differently, it's about shifting your physiology. You don't have to wait hours, days, or weeks to feel better. You can interrupt the stress response in real time by using systems already built into your body. Breathing patterns, visual focus, physical movement, internal dialogue, and even how you expose yourself to light all have direct and immediate effects on how your nervous system responds to stress. This isn't about relaxation, it's about control. It's about knowing how to shift out of panic and into clarity, not just in quiet moments, but especially under pressure. That control begins in the body, because when you learn to control your state, you gain access to focus, resilience, and calm regardless of your external environment. One of the most effective and immediate ways to lower stress is through a simple, science-backed breathing technique known as the physiological sigh. This pattern, 2 quick inhales through the nose followed by 1 long, slow exhale through the mouth, has been shown to rapidly calm the autonomic nervous system. Dr. Andrew Huberman, professor of neurobiology at Stanford University, has emphasized this technique as the fastest way to shift out of a sympathetic fight-or-flight state and into a more calm, regulated mode. The first inhale fills the lungs about halfway, and the second, shorter inhale maximizes the lung volume and helps open collapsed alveoli, tiny air sacs in the lungs. This maximizes oxygen exchange. The long exhale that follows offloads excess carbon dioxide, which directly reduces the signals of agitation being sent to the brainstem. Within seconds, heart rate begins to slow and a sense of control returns. What makes this method powerful is its immediacy. You don't need to meditate, lie down, or even close your eyes. You can use it in real time, during a meeting, before a performance, or when anxiety spikes. As Dr. Huberman explains, this is not psychological trickery. It's built-in physiology available to everyone anytime. Visual perception is tightly linked to our internal state. When we're stressed, our eyes naturally narrow. We enter what's called tunnel vision. This narrowing of the visual field is a hallmark of the sympathetic nervous system becoming dominant. But there's a powerful tool built into our visual system that allows us to reverse that stress response almost immediately. Dr. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist and ophthalmology professor at Stanford University, explains that by deliberately expanding your gaze, what he calls panoramic vision, you can send a signal of calm directly to the brain. Panoramic vision involves consciously softening your gaze and allowing your eyes to take in the entire visual field, side to side, above and below, without fixating on any one object. This activates neural circuits in the brainstem associated with safety and parasympathetic response. In other words, just by widening your field of view, you can physiologically downshift your state of arousal. This technique can be used anytime you feel overwhelmed, anxious, or agitated. It's especially useful before high-pressure situations. As Dr. Huberman notes, your eyes are not just passive sensors. They are part of a two-way system. By shifting how you see, you shift how you feel. It's fast, free, and incredibly effective. Deliberate exposure to cold is one of the most reliable ways to train your stress response and reduce anxiety over time. While it may sound uncomfortable, placing the body in a cold environment, like a cold shower or ice bath, triggers a controlled stress response that teaches your nervous system how to manage discomfort more efficiently. Dr. Andrew Huberman, professor of neurobiology at Stanford University, has extensively discussed how cold exposure activates the release of norepinephrine and epinephrine, powerful chemicals that increase alertness and focus while also improving mood. But here's where the real value lies. Cold exposure increases your stress threshold. When you place yourself into controlled stress and stay calm, you teach your nervous system that it can handle more. Over time, this builds what's called autonomic resilience, the ability to return to a calm baseline more quickly after stressful events. Even short, consistent sessions of cold exposure can lead to long-term reductions in baseline anxiety. Dr. Huberman often emphasizes that this isn't about toughness or pain, it's about adaptation. When you voluntarily face physical discomfort, you gain psychological control. The cold becomes your training ground, not just for the body, but for the mind. You're not numbing stress, you're learning to master it. Movement is one of the most potent, underutilized tools for regulating stress. It doesn't need to be extreme or lengthy, even moderate. Intensity exercise like walking, cycling, or zone 2 cardio can produce powerful shifts in brain chemistry. Dr. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist at Stanford University, explains that movement changes the way our brain interprets internal states. When we move rhythmically, we activate circuits in the brain that lower cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, and increase dopamine and serotonin, which enhance mood and focus. Consistent movement also engages a process called somatic quieting, where the body signals to the brain that the environment is safe. This is particularly powerful for stress recovery. When you're walking, especially outdoors with visual flow passing by, you're leveraging evolutionary mechanisms that calm the nervous system. It's the reason why a brisk walk often clears your head better than sitting still trying to relax. Dr. Huberman often notes that movement is not just physical, it's chemical. Every step, every pedal stroke, every rhythmic breath taken during exercise sends a signal to your brain. Things are under control, and when done consistently, that signal becomes a baseline. You don't just feel less stress after exercise. You build a system that resists stress all day. What you say to yourself when you're stressed has a direct impact on how your brain and body respond. Internal dialogue, those words that run through your mind, is not just background noise. It shapes perception, emotion, and even physiology. Dr. Andrew Huberman, professor of neurobiology at Stanford University, explains that self-talk is one of the most powerful cognitive tools for modulating stress, because it can shift the brain's interpretation of a situation from threat to challenge. When the brain perceives something as a threat, it engages the amygdala and triggers a cascade of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. But when you reframe that moment using deliberate internal language, "I can handle this," or "this is useful stress," you recruit the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational thinking and top-down control. This shift doesn't eliminate stress, but it gives you control over how you experience it. Dr. Huberman emphasizes that the language you use internally sends real signals to your autonomic nervous system. Calm, confident self-talk regulates your heart rate, lowers muscle tension, and restores focus. With practice, your internal voice becomes your tool, not just to get through stress, but to transform how you respond to it in the first place. Light is one of the most powerful regulators of your stress and energy levels, and it works faster and deeper than most people realize. Dr. Andrew Huberman, professor of neurobiology at Stanford University, emphasizes that the way you expose your eyes to light in the morning sets the tone for your entire nervous system. Getting sunlight into your eyes, ideally within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, triggers a cascade of biological responses that lower baseline cortisol later in the day and enhance focus, alertness, and emotional stability. This happens because light activates specialized cells in the retina called melanopsin-containing ganglion cells. These cells send signals to the brain's circadian pacemaker, which governs sleep, hormone release, temperature regulation, and stress response. When morning light hits the retina, it anchors your body's internal clock. making you more resilient to stress by promoting balanced neurochemical rhythms. Dr. Huberman stresses that this effect can't be replaced by indoor lighting. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is significantly stronger and more effective in setting these rhythms. Just 10-15 minutes of natural light exposure early in the day helps lock in a biological signal of safety and stability. Over time, this practice builds a foundation of calm and focus that lasts all day long. Lowering stress isn't about escaping life's demands. It's about gaining control over how your body and mind respond to them. The fastest ways to reduce stress are already built into your biology. Your breath, your eyes, your movement, your thoughts, your exposure to light, and even your willingness to face discomfort all act as levers to guide your internal state. With consistent use, these tools don't just help you feel better in the moment. They rewire your nervous system for long-term resilience. The goal isn't to eliminate stress, but to master your ability to move through it with clarity and control. When you train your system to shift from reactive to responsive, you don't just reduce stress. You build strength, composure, and confidence that carry over into every area of your life.